Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So we're ending this week the way we started, by looking at conjunctions in the Bible. These are those words that relate phrases, clauses, sentences together. They can distinguish, they can give lots of different kinds of meaning. And yesterday we looked at the Hebrew vav. Today we're going to look at a Greek word, dio. Dio is typically translated therefore. It kind of means because of what all has been said, this is the next thing to say, or this is the conclusion to be drawn. And the example that I'm using comes from Acts chapter 20. Now, Acts chapter 20 is an interesting chapter in the New Testament. Paul, the lawyer turned apostle, is talking and saying goodbye to certain leaders in the church in Ephesus. They were the elders, and in the process, he's telling them some insight about what is to come. Now, Ephesus was a church where Paul had spent years. He had started the church there. It was really dear to his heart. He'd had troubles in the town, but came back and really nurtured and worked with them. And his departure was one that's sad and moving. He was leaving and he wouldn't be coming back. And he knew that. So he wanted to give some really good advice to these elders. And he talked to them about how they need to take care of the flock, the people, the church, the congregation. And he says to pay careful attention, not only to the flock, but to themselves. Because you got to be alert to yourself if you're going to be helping others. And Paul makes that point. And he says, that God has made them in a position of responsibility to oversee those people that were in the church there. And that God cared so much for his church, for his people, that he, in essence, gave himself fully for his people. And so Paul says, after I leave, there are going to come folks who attack the church. They'll attack it from the outside and they'll attack it from the inside. They will be attacking God's people. He calls them fierce wolves will come in among you, and that they won't spare the flock. I mean, there are people who are bent on destroying other people. It is a sad part of the evil nature of some people. And so Paul says that this is going to happen. And they need to be alert and they need to be ready. And then he uses that word, dio, in the Greek. He says, therefore, because you're an overseer, because these are people in your care, because God's entrusted you to them, because you've got a position of authority that requires you to look out for yourself and look out for them, because you know that trouble is coming. Therefore, Paul says, be alert. I love that. Be alert. He says, remember, for 3 years, I was with you day and night. I was in tears. I was anything, I took it personally how everybody was doing. You need to be alert. I'm going to be gone. Now, let me tell you why I think about this weekend. God has put in all of our lives, he's put us in care and oversight of various things. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a boss, I'm in many aspects of my life. I oversee and am in a position to take care of people. And I suspect you are too. And everybody is to some degree or another. And you can always rest assured trouble is coming. And so I think the admonition Paul gave those overseers is admonition that goes to you and me as well. We need to not only look out for ourselves, but we need to look out for those under our care, and we need to stay alert. Therefore, the conjunction, stay alert. Keep your eyes open. Be attentive. Keep your finger on the pulse. So here's my challenge for you and for me as I go into this weekend. Think about the things that you oversee. People, relationships, whatever it may be. Think about them and be alert to those. That means check in on them, see how they're doing, love on them, find out what's going on in their world, see if there's trouble you can help with. That's a godly calling. That's a charge Paul gave to the overseers of the church in Ephesus, but it's a charge that should apply to all of us. And it is your video thought for the day. I'll see you next Monday.